Blah, 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 testing.
Blah, 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 testing.
But talk at your normal volume, because you know you're going to talk louder than that.
It seemed like it did alright the other time.
Alright, over here.
Are we recording now?
Yeah, we're currently recording.
You're going to keep all this in?
You ask this every episode that we recorded so far, if I'm going to keep stuff in, and I don't know, man. I keep a lot in. Sometimes I don't keep in. I feel that when I get there.
You should make a cut of this where it's like, you cut out all the words, except for the breaths taken before words.
Well, I just took off the noise suppression so we can, like, everything gets through better, and now all the breaths can be heard. I guess now, if we wanted to, we could turn the volume up a little bit and just have the Mario Kart noises in the background.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. After all, it is
Like 3.
what we usually do. There's a thing over there called...
Click the button. You got let's get this shit going. We're not gone recently. Haven't gone to Shy Guy Beach in a minute.
Since probably the last time. We'd have no way of knowing now, would we?
It's been a week and a half since maybe a little bit longer since we recorded.
Our goal is like one a week, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be posting one a week.
Yeah.
We recorded 3 episodes before we posted anything.
Wait, we already... So this is 4?
Yeah, this is episode 4.
Oh my god. There's a whole episode I can't remember.
Well, the 2 that are posted currently, and then the cheating episode. We talked about like cheating in school.
That's right.
Also, Kai made a follow-up comment on the second video. He initially posted because we joked about him. Well, I think you made a joke about him not editing his videos.
It wasn't so much of a joke. It was a direct observation. Not his videos as a whole, just the one we were in. I really hope he doesn't watch this one.
If he watched the second one, he probably watched the first one, and he's probably going to keep watching. You made the observation that we started kind of joking about his videos a little bit, so he said, "I feel fucking betrayed" in the comments, which I responded with, "I feel hungry." We're talking about our feelings.
I should have just, like, out of nowhere commented, "I just feel."
You ever just feel, man?
Just feel, with like a bunch of emojis.
His follow-up comment was, I can't believe you guys would say that I don't edit my videos. Just reiterating how hard it hit him.
I can't believe you... It's true, but I can't believe you would say it.
Which, before we started recording this, I talked to Nick a little bit about how... That's how Kai is. He makes comments like that a lot, like acting like he's very offended. And it's very funny because it's just... That's not how he is. If he... has a gripe with someone about something, he just like says it directly. He would never say it like that. Like, I feel fucking betrayed right now. But if he ever actually did say something like that seriously, we would have no clue. We would not know because we would just think he's joking.
We would probably push him to his breaking point, assuming each time he's like, saying something like that, it's an invitation to just keep going.
So you say you do better at racing in this when you're kind of not paying attention to it, you're talking more than you're racing?
Generally speaking, I think that's the case.
I find typically that I do better when I am focusing.
But like you would.
Which I think is a good thing.
Well, see, the thing... Well,
sign of skill rather than luck.
I just become very lucky when I'm not focusing. Is that what you're saying?
I guess that doesn't make sense. I don't know, that helps you get into a rhythm.
Well, the reason I made a distinction about it is because it's unusual.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to cover one eye or something and then do better.
Well, I think it might just be you have a natural ability to do well in this, but when you're focusing on it, you overthink things and you make brash decisions maybe.
Story of my life. I'm actually making most of my decisions are unconscious, but I think you're right. They when I try to calculate something that's really meant to be just kind of you feel it out like this. I was talking through part of it and I'm doing decently
right
well. It's a paradox, and I'm overthinking it right now because it's in a lot of, and I couldn't give a specific example of this right now, but in a lot of ways, how are we both? You didn't hand me the controller, right?
What do you mean?
Because I chose, what was it, the last map. But
you chose Moo Moo Meadows.
That's right, but I don't think you handed me the controller, did you?
No, I handed it to you.
Oh, why'd you give me that look?
I think
did you actually not hand me?
No, I handed you the controller. I just think it's kind of funny that you blanked it out. I think you were so into talking because I handed it to you without looking. I was just here you go.
Okay, maybe that's it. I didn't even look at it. It must have been double subconscious because you're positive you handed it to me.
Yes, I'm positive. I do remember.
All I remember is looking at the screen and choosing Moo Moo Meadows.
Having the intent.
Did I cut myself off again? Are we high right now? Like, I feel like I had another thought.
I didn't get that thought. If you did start it,
Okay.
I didn't catch it.
20 years down the road, this is like direct evidence that we've damaged our brains irreparably and we have like early onset dementia.
Yeah.
And then we keep forgetting everything.
You saying dementia just sparked a thought in me because I was thinking about something recently. You know the question of like, would you rather forever maintain the mind of a 30-year-old but your body ages like until you die, or maintain the body of a 30-year-old but your mind continues to age?
I think you actually may have asked me this before, particularly when we were playing Mario Kart.
Probably. Do you have an answer to it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to assume, based on my instinct, that my answer is the same as before. I would much rather have like the mind of a 30-year-old than in the body of
whatever age you are.
Whatever, yeah. Than the opposite, because like I would much rather like have my mind and take control of my life for whatever extent that I can, than like look good but I'm not there. Like my memories are depleting, and it's just very sad situation as a whole for people who do suffer from degenerative brain diseases. But you know, in that case, I think I would just rather go out with my person intact as opposed to look good in pictures.
I see what you mean, and that is the answer that almost everybody gives when I hear them talk about this question, and that is the answer I had for a while after I heard it. But recently my mind changed, or at least like my thought process of it changed, because
Really?
I thought of a different way to look at it, to maybe consider the other option. So I think it might be better to take the body of a 30-year-old and the mind of whatever age you are, because having a disease that wears away at your mind over time isn't a guarantee. Like, that happens to a lot of elderly folk, and that sucks. But if you take the mind of a 30-year-old, you're limiting yourself to the mind of a 30-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all the wisdom and experience, like, you still get that in a certain way, but having the mentality of a 30-year-old, that's an adult, but that's still very young.
Right. There's a possibility that they still have a pretty sharp mind at that age.
Yeah, and through most of your life, you're still going to have a healthy mind, like whether you later develop a disease of that sort or not. Because
in your perspective, like, the hypothetical doesn't define that you're going to have dementia, just that you have like the mental age.
Yeah, most people assume that their mind's going to deplete over time, but that's not a guarantee. It might in some way, but you also...
Well, it's a negative and kind of like, or I guess consistently lingering concern, because like nobody wants that to happen to them.
Yeah, of course. But I was just thinking, if you could continue to gain the wisdom that people gain over time as they become adults and then go into being elderly, and have the physical body of a 30-year-old...
And presumably live as... that's actually a really good point. I never thought about it like that.
You would have the ability to do all the things that you want to do over time.
You'd probably have an incredible life, as long as... provided those circumstances did
everything
effect.
worked out.
Because, like, you'd have the wisdom of somebody who lived... Like, basically, I'm just reiterating what you said. And you could make a lot of decisions that... You know, you could look back on, I guess, things that didn't happen and make the right decisions, you know?
Yeah, and you still be physically able to do it.
Yes.
Assuming your 30-year-old self is healthy enough.
You're as physically able as, like, a regular 30-year-old.
Yeah. And I guess this is interesting, because I don't think I've ever heard any other perspectives on this, of people under 30. Most of the people I've heard answer this question are over 30.
Really?
Yeah. We haven't even reached the age that we'd be stuck at in either circumstance yet.
I wonder if our answers will change with age.
Well, in 9 years, when we are still doing this podcast, I'm sure. Let's make sure to answer this again. I'll set an event in my calendar.
Assuming you still have the same phone and are in fact still alive. The other thing I was going to mention about that, I didn't want to cut you off, but like I was trying to hold on to the thought as long as I could. My 80-year-old brain.
Yeah, you're already there.
Yeah.
You'll be backtracking.
Not even 30 yet. I'm going to be a fucking raisin up there by the time I'm 30. Was that, I guess, having like a 30-year-old or an 80-year-old or whatever brain is not necessarily like a medical term, right? These are like, it's like a very vague hypothetical, because it suggests like, I guess, the weatheredness of those ages, but like both physical, because your brain is like kind of an organ like any other. It's like the idea of like an 80-year-old brain. What does that like really measure? It's
gonna be different for each person.
Yeah,
we don't know how we're gonna be in the future.
Yeah, and it's really intentionally vague. So I guess there's a lot of like loopholes or other ways you could phrase it to make a perspective make sense.
I would be curious to ask this to an elderly person and see if like they currently would rather have the mind of what they had when they were 30 or the body of when they were 30.
I would imagine it's probably the same as anyone else. Is like it depends on how content they are with their current mind.
I guess so, yeah. Whichever one they think needs more improvement.
Yeah. But also, like, I think that a lot of elderly people would jump at the idea that, like, they could have a 30-year-old body again. Because that's, like, slightly over athletic prime. Like,
yeah.
That's really good. Like, a 30-year-old body, but, like, a 40-year-old mind, I would hands down take.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As opposed to
I'll take that now.
Yeah. I want to be physically 40 with the mentality of me in 9 years. But you trapped in your life right now.
I still have to go to college.
Oh, this actually reminds me. I did have a talking point I prepared. I only have one.
This is incredible.
It's
gonna take 8 minutes.
It's a hypothetical. It's gonna take my favorite.
What if you woke up one day?
Assume every one of them subsequently starts that way, because it's always gonna be phrased in your like framed in your perspective. Have you seen the movie Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
What if you were in that situation, except instead of the mom and her daughter, it's you and like Michael Myers or like Jeffrey Dahmer, like some complete lunatic who is utterly like just a killing machine basically, and like all of the
fuck was that? Is that Michael? Are you here?
He wouldn't respond.
Yeah, I guess so. I assume something just shifted in my shelves.
I don't know. Was that in here or out there?
I believe
so.
In here.
Yeah, basically, do you know where I'm going with this? Like Freaky Friday, and like all of the real world implications, like apply. Like everyone that knows you has to deal with Michael Myers, and everyone that's afraid of Michael Myers has to deal with you. But you still are in the same physical body, so I guess it depends on your perspective. Like if you can talk or not. Or if you would talk, or that he would talk in your body or not.
Yeah. So I think there's already a movie on this. I think it's just called Freaky, where like a teenage girl and a serial killer swap bodies and they have to figure it out.
That's right. I didn't even think about that. I haven't seen the movie. I'd like to now.
I think I watched it. I remember it being fun. It's like a fun slasher movie.
Yeah.
You know, like a comedy, horror-ish. Not really horror.
Reminder, you do have the physical strength of Michael Myers.
What if I just go on as Michael Myers?
You just pick up where he left off.
Like, he's got to do what he wants with my body, but like, I got to make the best of my situation.
All it does is turn Luke Snowart, the physical person, into a serial killer. And other than that, there's no change.
And Luke Snowart, the mentality, just transforms into Michael Myers.
You're like, finally, an excuse to cut loose.
Can't say it wouldn't be tempting. All those thoughts I've had, all those people who have wronged me, all those enemies that I definitely have lurking around this world that need to be cut off.
Need to be cut off or cut in?
Cut in.
Cut in.
They cut in them. I picked that one. You picked that one.
So what would you? Is that your joke answer? Or is that your legitimate answer that you would just pick up where you left off?
That's a joke answer.
I picked that one, by the way.
Okay. I like to imagine that I can't talk. Not that Michael Myers chooses not to talk, but his body stops him from talking, so that I also can't talk. And I think that I would just have a lot of trouble conversing with somebody, trying to have an interaction. So I would write notes to people and be like, hey, something's up here, and I don't know how to fix it.
That also assumes he knows how to write. Because I think that's more of a muscle thing, too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a curveball to this, too.
Okay.
It's an instantaneous thing. You're not, like, strapped to two chairs with, like, some spaghetti strainers on your heads and, like, you know, you're plugged into some machine. It's like him, what he'd be doing, like, right now versus you, what you'd be doing right now.
So it's not like...
instantaneous magic switch.
I think what happens in the movie Freaky that I was referencing is the killer and the teenage girl are, like, on a football field, and he's about to kill her, but then lightning strikes and they get switched. So that's what I was initially thinking, but you're saying that we just, like, magically right now, wherever he's at, wherever I am, we get switched.
Right. Or any, like, hypothetical scenario, like, of, you know, what you would naturally, like, plausibly be doing at that time. Yeah. And I'd like to imagine right now, because I'm going to have a follow-up question for you. And I think you see where that might be going. I think so. So, yeah, I would try to write notes to people, but then, yeah, like you said, he probably wouldn't know how to write because he has not been in a normal life situation where he would learn to write.
or he's forgotten over time since
But
he was a kid.
he also does know how to drive a car, and he's never been in one before.
That's true. I might just
I don't know.
start life on my own out in the woods, become just a survivalist, live off nature. People aren't gonna talk to him. Well, actually, first thing I would do, take off the mask, because then immediately more human.
Yeah.
Actually, we watched the first Halloween movie. We actually do see him out of the mask at the end.
For just a second, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like a dude with weird eyes. He's just staring.
It is so weird to see. He's one of the very few characters who I am uncomfortable seeing unmasked.
Yeah.
Like him and Master Chief, and that's it. I do not care what they look like. I never wanted to know.
Has Master Chief been unmasked?
I think he has a couple times, and people are furious about it. Like,
I think
in the Halo series, I think they unmasked him, and people were pissed because they did that right away.
Oh.
And he's just some guy.
I think in the Halo Wars, you see a character, not Master Chief, but his name is John, which presumably it's him.
There's animations and stuff of him when he's a kid, and it's showing a flashback of what training was like in the UNSC.
That's fine.
But yeah, also as a kid, there's an obscurity because it's not the same Chief we know, who's defined by all these experiences.
So yeah, I would immediately take off the mask and try to train my eyes to not be so bulged outy, so I can look more approachable. And I would try to approach people as if I was deaf, but I don't know sign language. But I would just try to make an interaction with somebody and be speak with my hands that I can't talk.
Yeah.
And just maybe find some help.
Learn
somehow.
Sign language.
Yeah. It's start a new life, I guess, as somebody who doesn't know what to do.
You're handling it pretty well. You switch in an instant, and you're there, and you're seconds away from plausibly about to stab someone in the face. And you just suddenly stop and walk away. Oh yeah, I guess you would be really confused at first. Because, you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I would assume I just, went into a dream, I passed out.
Yeah. Would you make an effort, any effort to, reach yourself? Or Michael by this point? Would you assume the worst? Because, once you figure it out...
Yeah, once I figure it out, or at least assume that he's in my body if I'm in his body.
Yeah.
I just have that theory by chance. I was oh, shit, that movie Freaky. Based off Freaky Friday.
Yeah, I guess you would think.
I would be kind of hopeless of it, because there's no guarantee that we're going to switch back, because I don't know what caused me to switch. It's not like the lightning in the movie Freaky, which I think is what happened.
Right.
Where, I just need to get struck by lightning again, or whatever.
You can presume, though, that, your life as you knew it from your body is pretty much over.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely going to interfere with it.
I would be kind of hopeless of, getting my life back.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's possible. So I'd probably just try to keep going with his life. Or, making a new life out of it,
Yeah. You also have to deal with the consequences of of his life, too. You definitely can't see that babysitter. She even catches a glimpse of you.
Who's the main character in Halloween? The woman who
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, yeah, but her character. That's the actress. Is it Nancy, or is that the wrong movie?
Nancy
series?
is very close to it. She's a character in Dead by Daylight, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, they put her in there.
All I can think of is Jamie Lee Curtis. It's
yeah, I have to watch out for Jamie Lee Curtis because she's gonna be hunting me at least after a couple years.
Yeah, especially old Jamie Lee Curtis with a shotgun.
So, my follow-up question for you is, what would you do if right now I just stopped talking, I stopped playing, without your knowledge of me being Michael Myers, I started acting like Michael Myers?
Well, I'd probably think you were doing a bit at first. I naturally would be Luke. It would take you attacking me with a knife.
Yeah.
For me to realize you're.
Which
not
there's
joking.
one right there, by the way. So you can be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, which that does make me very comfortable. I've done the trope of the artist or the creator by their own hubris has set things in motion.
Yeah, you doomed yourself with this hypothetical.
Yeah.
That is fair to think that you would just think I'm doing a joke.
You do stuff like that a lot.
I do.
You have done exactly that in Lethal Company.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was about to bring that up too. It might have been the first time we played it. That was the first time we tried to record it. Or it was at least the first time we heard about the masks, the mimic.
Yeah.
The idea of that, or Kai brought up the idea of that. And I went into the building before you guys because I was rushed ahead.
You can
and I just stood in a doorway with my back turned, and you guys were like, Luke?
Yeah, you can see my perspective change in real time. Where I'm going Luke? Luke?
We need to do modded for that. I really need to see what's up with modded. other crazy shit. I want to see Freddy Fazbear attack me from behind.
Dude, we should do a video with mods.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really want to do the Skinwalker mod. That's the one that takes clips from your voice,
Oh!
like from in-game chat,
Yeah.
and reuses them on basically like a modded version of the mimics that don't have a mask.
Yeah.
They look like you, but they're already in the facility.
That would be so cool. I'm really excited for that,
Yeah.
specifically.
I can't believe that's like not vanilla in the game yet.
Mm-hmm. It's probably just because the person who created the game might not know how to do that yet.
Yeah, and they're definitely like, you know, they don't have a team to help them if they did.
Mm-hmm. Is it just one person?
It is just one person, actually. They're a Roblox creator.
Of course they are. They all are now.
Yeah. And when you play the game back, you could totally see it as just a Roblox game.
This is like a biased thing to say, and like not an okay thing to judge on, but sometimes when I get comments on my videos or on my TikToks, or like I get a new follower, I'll just check out their channel, see if they have anything posted, see if there's anything interesting.
Sniff through them.
Yeah, and most of the time when it's somebody making a mean comment to me, or like just a weird comment, like something you assume a 13-year-old made,
yeah,
I go there and they've made like 40,000 Roblox videos.
You're usually right.
Yeah.
It's okay. So basically, the moral of what you're saying, I don't know. This is just what I'm like interpreting, not what you may have intended. But like, it's never okay to make assumptions, however right they may be.
Yeah, let the experience speak for itself.
Yes.
Go to find the Roblox, because it will be there.
Intuition does exist.
Yeah. That happened with one of my TikToks that I was noticing recently. I usually get like 300 views on my TikToks. That's pretty normal on my channel.
Yeah.
And one of them that I posted a couple months ago just started popping off for some reason. It's got like 10,000 views now. I haven't got anything. That's the most on my TikTok page so far.
That's tremendous.
And it was the one I was looking at. I believe it was Temu. Yeah, it was Temu because that's the only video I made of that style before. Because I made two videos, one looking at the website and then the second one reviewing the products I bought. This was the one looking at the website, trying to find out what to buy to review. I was looking up pocket knives. I was like just typing, I want to find like some shitty pocket knives. I typed in pocket, and one of the search results that popped up was pocket pissy.
What?
Did you watch the video or no?
I haven't watched it. I've seen. I think you've done a couple Temu videos. Do I have that right?
I did. I did the one where I looked at the website.
I've seen the one with the cheap pocket knife, or at least part of it.
Okay, I saw that and I was like, "What the fuck is a pocket pissy?" Hold on, we'll bookmark that.
Pocket pissy.
We'll open that in another tab, but I want to look at pocket knives. So I looked at pocket knives and I went back to it. And I was like, "What the fuck is a pocket pissy?" I typed it in, and everything that came up, it was a typo. It's a pocket pussy. Apparently, you can buy those off Temu.
But why is the typo the search term that comes up?
I assume because when you look up pocket pussy, it can't actually take that because there's a curse word in it. So
there's censorship going on?
Yeah, like they wouldn't actually let that be a autofill on the website. So every time somebody misspells that and searches it, that gets through because there's no curse word.
Yeah.
But then the search results pop up because it's close enough.
That's a plausible explanation. Can you think of the other one? Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I'd like to change the topic. Well, the reason I started thinking about this was because I got, like, that started getting a bunch of views randomly, which means more people started commenting on it. And a couple of the comments I got were very funny, but very, like, juvenilely humorous. One of them was, "I love the chocolate one." And another one was, "I couldn't even edge to this. I exploded immediately. Heart, 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 heart." And
heart.
Yeah. And I think I clicked on that one. I was like, I have to see who this person is.
Oh my God.
And they just had a bunch of Roblox.
This is on your TikTok account still, right?
Yeah, and they just had a bunch of Roblox clips on their channel. I was like,
Oh my God.
A couple Fortnite ones. This makes sense.
Did you say 10,000 views?
Yeah, it's got 10,000 views right now.
Oh my God. That is the thing about, like, that's one of the reasons I'm not on TikTok is like the sheer amount of like people that are observing this like 30-second clip. And it's like a lot of people have the time to do that. You know, it's like that blows me away. And the amount of comments that you would derive from 10,000 views.
Yeah. TikTok is a weird platform because the random shit can blow up while like other things that you think are funny slip by.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, that got posted a couple months ago, I think now. and it got, you know, the typical couple hundred views, and then just, you know, plateaued like everything else.
Yeah.
And then just recently, it starts getting a bunch of random views.
Decided to pick up back again.
And it's not like 10,000 is big for me, but it's not big for TikTok. Like, the big TikToks, the ones that go viral, get like millions of views, tens of millions of views, hundreds of millions of views, a couple billion sometimes. It's just weird how some things stand out, because that doesn't happen on YouTube, like shorts for me. I don't think that happens as much for YouTube shorts as well. Like, just the popular stuff gets popular, and the stuff that's not popular is not popular.
That's
like
just,
the big channels get popular.
It's just a motif for how difficult it is to measure human interests.
Yeah.
You know? Human behavior, I mean, there's certain constants, but human interests, there's like an infinite number of things that could fascinate people for reasons that we'll never be able to tell.
Yeah. Because it's not like if I respond to one of those comments, be like, so why did you feel the need to comment on this video?
How did you find this video?
I was scrolling my feed, and my dick down my...
And why is it on
my hand down my pants, not my dick down my pants. Dick's always in the pants. Except for...
Dick outside my pants, hand in my pants.
I had one replace the other.
Hey, you gonna piss on my dick, tell me it's raining?
Is that from something?
That's from something, yeah.
What's that from?
Key and Peele.
Okay.
It's this guy keeps mixing up the word dick and leg. It's so...
I did not get anything from this more.
It's so dumb. At the very end, like, the punchline is like, I'm elected to marijuana. It doesn't even make any sense.
I get it, because, like, they flopped.
I
need to watch more Key and Peele. They're great.
Yeah. This isn't even the first time we've played Mario Kart, and I've talked about them.
Yeah, the first time was when the cum and the socks.
The cum sock joke.
Yeah, crispy socks everywhere.
That wasn't even right. I watched that back, and I totally got the song wrong.
Yeah.
It's like not even part of it. Okay, so I'll raise the stakes a little. What if...
For the hypothetical?
For the hypothetical. What if it was the same, but, like, reversed? Like, it was me instead of you.
How would I deal with... Like, how would I deal in the situation I gave you?
How would you deal?
I think I would assume...
It's not really my sense of humor.
That's more of a me thing to do.
Yeah.
I think my first thing would be, like, assume something's wrong. So I might, like, pause the recording and be like, hey, what's up, man? Are you okay? Like, what's going on?
But also, like, this blank stare. You know, it's like, it's literally, like, all the humanity has left my eyes, and you could probably tell right away.
Yeah. Because the first thing I would notice would be, like, you drive off the cliff in the game.
You probably wouldn't notice that, actually. That seems... pretty on character for me to drive off a cliff.
I guess so, yeah. But like the second or third time it happens in a row, I'm trying to think of what Michael Myers would do, because he like takes his time. He's not in a rush to get the kills done.
So the first thing that I think kind of distinguishes him from a lot of other slashers is that he really thrives on fear.
Yeah.
Like Jason will just find the most immediate weapon and kill somebody. Like usually they're isolated, but Michael Myers will deliberately hold off on killing somebody if it means he can inspire more fear in them. You know, like he'll like vanish and then show up in the next house after they escape.
Mm-hmm. He intentionally will like stay back for a second so they can see him.
Yeah, and he like takes his time, and he'll actually stop. Like if you say his name, he has no clue of like how you knew his name, because he is a human at the end of the day. Like basically he's just a psychopath.
There's a little bit left in there. I can fix him.
I can fix him. That's kind of what the sequels turn into a little bit. Have you ever seen what is it, Curse of Michael Myers Part 4?
I don't know, dude.
Because 3 we don't count. 3 you can skip right over that and miss nothing.
3 is the not Michael Myers one.
Yeah,
right?
The one with the Goosebumps masks. So 4 starts out basically as in like the aftermath of 2. He's MIA again because they failed to like secure him again. And they just, like, turned around and waited for him to walk away again. You know how radio talk shows used to be a thing, and they'd have, like, callers come on?
Yeah.
It starts out with one of those, and it basically is, like, people talking about Michael Myers, and there's this girl that comes on, and they're like, oh, hey, caller, thanks for coming on the show. What do you think about this whole Michael Myers situation? And she's like, well, I think I'm in love with him. I just want to know who's behind that mask. And
this does ring a bell.
I think I could fix him, or something like that. Like it's just like, this is too original. This is too real.
Yeah, this is too topical.
What kind of person Like, and this happens in real life. There's like actual serial killers who are like, written letter relationships with like people outside of prison.
Yeah, like regular ass people.
Yeah, because they're like fucking. They don't even know what that means. They're not in love with them. They're in love with the idea of them. It doesn't make any sense. You've never met this person. I don't know who I'm directing this at. It just
those people.
They're like more psychotic than the serial killer.
I don't know about that, but it's close.
They're at least on par with them because like they've never met this person before, but still they have this assertion about them.
It's like the extreme version of the trope of like wanting the bad boy.
Yeah, and even that, or like risk taking behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I drive fast with no seatbelt. Oh, good for you.
Yeah, cool. Such a hottie.
I'm sorry, your parking tickets are spilling out. I'm gonna just close this glove box for you. And to be fair, it's like that's probably a result of like environment and Western media. It's like because like look at like James Bond and like look at like icons of the past, and not that they're like serial killers, but they disregard society's rules and they generally speaking have no respect for others. They consider people lesser than themselves.
Do you have examples?
Well, let's take James Bond for example.
Okay.
Like the old James Bond.
Yeah.
The one
who beats the spider with his shoe or whatever. Yeah. What was it? A slipper?
With a slipper, yeah. Have you ever seen his relationship with women?
I've heard that line. What you showed me.
Even the character.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like
he plays himself.
Yeah, I know. It's like don't get me wrong. I love those movies for the reasons that they're ridiculous.
Yeah. And
they're like campy. But I don't love them for that. But that was a social norm. People laughed at that unironically. I think that's partially even how far removed it is from it, like an influence as to why things like I'm in love with a serial killer might happen. It starts this trend of like it's more acceptable to be infatuated with somebody who disregards people as a whole and people as society, and it's like you just slowly, one step at a time, get closer to that. Do
you think it's become a trend to that's what's sexy is the person who that's the manly figure?
And don't get me wrong, I think there are a lot of things that go into it more than just James Bond is a serial killer. I think that's at its heart where it kind of stems from, because I obviously I haven't lived in the past. I don't know what life was like back then, and I don't know. I'm not insinuating that there are many people out there like this. I'm just saying for the few that have, it's purely environmental. It's like external influences. I don't think that people would naturally tend to become interested in somebody who disregards them.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a very unhealthy place to be, even in the small scale.
A normal human response would be, that I hope they resolve this issue for themselves, as well as realize the danger they're putting themselves in by doing that. That has nothing to do with like aesthetic of like a person either. Like you can be interested in somebody, their personality, and they kind of render themselves as like, let's say the bad boy archetype, for example. And it's like there's nothing wrong with that. But on the serial killer level, it's like that person has mutilated people. They don't see you the way you see them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the same kind of relationship.
Yeah, you have essentially like the early the early kind of composition of like a parasocial relationship. This isn't coming from like a place that I have a stake of experience or like a stake in. I'm just like,
when I receive all my love letters.
Well, because it ties back into that movie. That movie has allowed us to get closer to like social acceptance of that trend. I'm not like demonizing Halloween the franchise for it. I'm just saying like it's an example of, for whatever reason, why we're like approaching this thing. That's, I don't know. I guess I've said too much, and I guess I've said very little for too long.
As usual. Oh, you're in first. You gotta fix that.
So I'm just was that you?
Yeah.
There's something right on my ass, but I can't shake it. Oh, it's you.
Gripping that nice tight booty.
This is going great.
For you, like in the race?
No, I'm just talking. Well, the race, but I'm also just talking about like my stake in the podcast right now.
I think it'll be good.
As long as you cut out like 53% of what I've said, we'll be fine. You're like,
let's see about that.
Leaving it all in.
Leave it to me.
Don't worry, I'll wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Take care of everything, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We're gonna do what we did for this last episode, the second episode that got posted, where I post it, and then you give me your comments.
Like, oh shit,
He left that in?
I am so canceled.
Oh no, the 4 views this gets. Everybody's gonna know.
They'll know.
The things that's funny about, like, cutting stuff out after it's posted is that...
People have already seen it.
Well, for this last one, it only got, like, 3 views, which I assume are me, you, and Kai. So far, at least, like, as of right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny, because I made the visualizer of the colors slowly shifting and the wheel spinning.
Yeah.
If you make cuts in YouTube's editor after it's posted,
That's right.
I can't, like, make it go smooth. So it's just, you can obviously tell it's been cut out.
I've now realized, like, the only way you would be able to fix it is if you took down the old video and re-uploaded
Okay, yeah, completely reposted it.
You can't do that. I'm glad I didn't do something that, like, you actually think needs to be taken out. Because we've already done 3 of those things.
I mean, what I should do is I should edit the video beforehand, like before the day it's supposed to be posted, show it to you, and then you give your revision before I even post it. Instead of just posting me like, hey, now that it's public, you give me your thoughts.
Man, everything has a duplicate on the internet too. Like, down the road, let's say when you put out more of these, even though you might have revised a couple of them, there's still going to be the originals floating out there somewhere. I don't know where.
Only if this becomes like a big thing. Nobody's looking on my channel for the original. Nobody's going to like hack into the servers of YouTube and find the original or whatever. And nobody's going to like screen record or download the original before it got edited.
I'm not exactly, because those are all fair points, but like, I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but stuff always pops up. Like, PewDiePie cannot scrub the bridge incident no matter how hard he tries. One day his son's going to be old enough to look on YouTube and be like, what's this?
Some people can forgive. Others can't.
I recently had my hopes and dreams crushed with JonTron too.
Really?
Not hopes and dreams as in like, oh, I hope to get to meet him someday. But you secretly hope like, oh, everyone's gonna have like super cool like ideas, you know, about humanity, and that their personal biases won't reflect how they are on the internet. But JonTron certainly is not, and that's just another one on the list for me, I guess.
How so? Tell me about it second-handedly so I can get the full picture.
So you can understand the original context perfectly clearly, like every other thing I explained. So there's a streamer called Destiny, and Destiny is like the libertarian version of like Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
His whole thing is he likes playing games on stream while he has a caller, or like, you know, somebody through Discord presumably as well, who he talks to in debates. He's usually like focusing on something based on like a tweet they made, or like some statement, or like something known about their character.
Okay. That
he's specifically referring to. Like, I think PewDiePie wouldn't come on, but like he would love to. And he's infuriating to them because it's like, he's not like a polite debater either. He tries his best to like, you know, get them upset at him so that they slip up and say something worse.
Is that like the draw of the show, to like see him make people mad?
That's the draw. He himself has like pretty good ideas, and he's like respectful, humane person of all different facets of life, and because they'll get into debates, and a lot of people, when they know they're gonna be debating Destiny in advance, will come prepared with like a few facts that like try to support their argument. And JonTron did, but of this 2-hour stream, like halfway through, he starts really coming out of pocket with a lot of
Destiny or JonTron?
JonTron does. He comes out with a lot of things that I never would have thought I would have heard him say.
Is it things you're comfortable with talking about?
Or
do you want
I don't
off
know.
recording?
I mean, like the stream as a whole, the last 10 minutes after JonTron leaves, he just kind of spends like a little bit in shock, like watching his chat, because he himself didn't really think that JonTron believed these things that he said too. But you know what? After this recording is over, I'll just show you a little bit of the stream.
Okay.
There's probably a lot of people out there who already know about this thing, and it's like, but it's new to me because this past like fall we were watching JonTron a lot.
Yeah, I've been watching him recently.
I really like his content, and you know, I try to like separate the artist from the art, but it is hard to see that.
This is too much. You're making me really scared right now, man. I like JonTron.
I know. Maybe I shouldn't show you.
I mean, I don't want to be like ignorant bliss. I would rather know than not know.
You want to take the red pill?
I'm just that kind of guy, man. I need to know the truth. Gotta fight for what's real. But yeah, I think I need to see.
Yeah.
Because now, if I watch JonTron, knowing that you've said this, it's gonna be in the back of my head.
You have
if
to
I don't
watch.
see it.
You have to watch a fair amount of the stream to really realize where it's going. Because, like, to his credit, he does like concede a couple of times, and he's like, "Oh, well, I did go a little bit too far, and maybe I should rephrase what I'm saying." Because, like, obviously my career's dead by this point. I just want people to. I just want to make it clear what I am saying. But like, there's a couple things where he doesn't do that. he just stands by what he just said. This pile of dookie, like. So there's a VOD up of this? Yes.
On YouTube, I'll put a link to this in the description so you can click on it. Maybe it's way more public at this point, but you might be in the same confusion and concern I am right now.
The reason I kept like kind of stuttering and tripping over my words is because at first I thought, oh, well, I could probably talk a little bit about it, but now I'm thinking I can't. It's one of the very few times I don't know if I can actually talk about the things that he said on YouTube, even though they're on YouTube, because like with the setting of our podcast here, I have to give a little bit of background, and we don't have the time for that, and I don't think I can because it's not quite appropriate.
Oh, man, I'm so scared now.
Yeah,
I ran into the wall.
We'll leave it for another time.
Okay. Fuck. I literally just watched like some clips of him and like in early Game Grumps the first year when he was in it, and I was like, oh man, these are funny.
I know.
I really like this guy.
I go back and I watch his stuff, and it's like I can't see it the same. Every other time, you imagine he's just like some guy. And to be fair, in life, everyone has like a background they come from. Everyone's got these ideas that are like the Michael Myers phone call thing, or the radio show thing. Mm-hmm. It's like everyone's got
some quirks.
Yeah, everyone's got some quirks. I was just imagining JonTron being the caller. I think I'm in love with Michael Myers.
I can fix it. Well, I guess we gotta do that now.
End on a bad note.
Yeah. Fuck man. Bye. See you next week.
See you next week.
Nothing matters anymore.